Yo and a yo and a yo. Back by popular demand, we have a reaction video for your punk ass today. This is Dan Bilzerian on the Chris Williamson Modern Wisdom Podcast. Now, if you like the content, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us get started.
What are the common assumptions, the biggest ones that are holding guys back when it comes to attracting women? What are the reframes or the best strategies that you've deconstructed from yourself?
Okay, so the most common problems I would say would be some mindsets, like, you know, limiting beliefs is a big one, like thinking like, oh, I'm not tall, so women aren't going to be attracted to me, or I'm not rich, so I can't get women, or, you know, like all these reasons why they're not attracted.
Do those things not matter?
No, they don't matter at all. Like at all. Like the things that actually can make a woman pursue you or chase you or be interested in you, like, you know, Bill's a perfect example. He had all the things, not one, not two, not three. He had every single thing that guys think that they need to get women. And
plus a desert island.
Desert island with 36 girls. Like, you couldn't get a better scenario. So like, that is literal proof that like all these things, you know,
still didn't get laid.
Exactly. That's not going to solve your problem, because here's a guy that had all those things and he still didn't do it. Right. And I have another sample of a bunch of guys in my fraternity that were short, that didn't have money, that weren't that smart, all this stuff, and they got a ton of pussy. So like, I just know that it's not the traditional things that guys think that they need. That's a part of it. But I think like I said, when I kind of like deconstructed it, the biggest epiphany that I had was the difference of when you are chasing a woman or you're pursuing a woman versus when she's pursuing you.
So let's say this. I kind of agree and I kind of disagree, but I largely do agree. So people think that certain things matter, right? So I've had so many Asian clients who go, oh, white women aren't going to want me because I'm Asian, or maybe they're short, or things like this. And the thing is, if you are Asian and you walk up to a woman on the street who thinks she isn't into Asian men, then there's a damn good chance that she will reject you. Yes, that is true, right? And that isn't really what Danny is saying, but that is true. That will happen. However, if you were to, like, say, build a social circle and become well known and renowned in a certain environment, those women who would have rejected you in the street will be infinitely more likely to want to get with you because you got status. Then there's also the fact that there's gonna be women who like Asian men anyway, so you can still freaking find them. I mean, if you're a short men, you're gonna encounter a lot of women who are immediately going to be like, no thank you. That's true, but it's not actually going to be all of them. And if you carry yourself with a certain degree of confidence and a certain degree of swagger, then you will attract a ton of women anyway. Like, you will either attract women who don't care that you're short, or you'll attract women who immediately would have cared that you were short, but then they feel the energy, they feel the personality, they feel the presence, and they go, whoa, let me get to know this man. Things that we think matter don't matter nearly as much. That is true, but they also kind of do matter. Like, they kind of do. Like, for instance, being in shape isn't necessary, but it does help, and it does raise the percentages of the women that you will attract. So while it's fundamentally right in the sense of actually it's more about you and how you feel, to say that other things don't factor in is just kind of untrue. Dan Bilzerian is a businessman. And as a businessman, I know that he wants to do everything in his power to make sure that he gets the greatest ROI possible. So that means improving his copywriting. It means improving the quality of his videos. It means improving his marketing and this and this and this. And he attacks it from every angle. He doesn't just sit down and go, oh, what is the single thing that I can do which is going to give me the biggest impact on my business? And then I'm only going to do that and forget the rest, because all of the little things add up to a big thing too.
And like, the flaws disappearing on both sides. When a woman's chasing you, your flaws disappear, her flaws magnify. Just like when the really, stage 5 clinger girl hits you up all the time, it's just like, you're not interested in her. Maybe she can suck your dick on a Friday night if you strike out at 3 a.m. Right? But like, the same thing's true for women. Is like, when these guys massively overcommunicate interest, they know they can have them, and then it's like a conversation of, do they want them? And when you're looking at flaws, you're going to find them. Like, you've got flaws, I've got flaws, like everybody has flaws, right? So when you're looking for flaws, they stand out. But when you're pursuing something, you know, like think an auction, you know, like 5 guys want something, 5 guys are bidding for something, and like you really want it. And you have this like, you know, idea in your mind of like when you wanted something, you didn't get it, and the fear of loss. You're not thinking about what's wrong with it. You're just, how do I get it? Right? Just like, you know, and this is probably the most common mistake guys make is they're like, this girl's hot. How do I fuck her? You know, that's the thought process. Like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Like, I would marry that girl. How many times have you heard a guy say like, oh my God, she's so hot, I would marry her? It's like, what if she has AIDS? What if she's a pathological liar? What if she's like 95,000 guys? What if she's just like a, you know, a serial cheater? Like, you know, what if this girl has massive problems? What if she's bipolar? What if she's got a massive alcohol problem? Whatever, right? Like, dig a little bit deeper. Like, be discerning. You know, like go into the.
I say this to my clients all the freaking time. Do you know how often I'll be like in the middle of a conversation with a man and he'll say something to me like, Kieran, I went out on Saturday and I met this fantastic woman. And then I'll go, great, she's fantastic. That is incredible. Tell me, what was so fantastic about this woman? And then he will go, well, she was hot. And I go on. And he'll go, she laughed at my jokes. And I say, whoa, so is that actually all she needed? She just needed to be hot and laugh at your jokes, and now she's the greatest woman on earth and you're completely sold. She doesn't need any kind of personality whatsoever. And then they'll go, oh my God, you're actually right. Wow, I never looked at it that way. And the thing is this, when you are immediately blown away and sold by women, well, basically you put them in the buying frame, they're in the choosing frame, and you're trying to sell yourself, and then it kind of lowers your value, as Dan said. Like, now they're just kind of appraising you and thinking, do I want to get with this guy? Do I not? I know I can have him, but do I actually want to? Is it the best thing for me? There's less attraction. What you really want to do is this, right? And this is, I do accept that this is easier said than done, but it's like you want to be appraising the women who you meet, as in, are they right for you? Now, how do you do that? Well, the good thing to do, the prime thing to do, is to know what it is that you want, i.e., in a woman, what is it that does it for you? What is it that turns you on? What is it that makes you feel good about yourself? What does a woman need for you to want to be with her? And then you might go, well, Kieran, I just said I only want looks. It's like, is that really the case though? Is it? Like, so she can be a good-looking alcoholic and you're good. She can be a good-looking heroin addict and you're good. She can be a good-looking thief and you're good. No, there are things that you want. And what you want to do is you want to sit down, know what they are, right? Ask yourself, right? Like, of all the women I've ever liked in any way, right? Whether it was romantically, sexually, or just as a person, what did I like about these women? And you start writing it down. And then you will get patterns. Like, oh, I like women who are intelligent. I like women, like, here's one about me. I have relatively recently realized that I cannot be with a woman who doesn't know herself. If she does not know the inner workings of her own mind or is not on the journey to figure that out, I can't do that at all. That's something I know. So now it's like, all right, I need to get with women who friggin' know what the hell they're all about. Here's another one. I like women who are open-minded, okay? If a woman is closed-minded, that will not work for me. If a woman is not sexual, that will not work for me. Write all of this stuff down, right? And then once you know what it is, then when you start meeting women, you can like appraise them to see if they actually have what you want. Now, the thing is this, when you are appraising, right, when you're like, I'm not sure if you have what I want, irrespective of whether you openly say it or don't, the energy of your interaction will be different, and she is infinitely more likely to want you.
Interaction, like wanting to find out more about the girl, not just accepting her looks as being enough. And I think that's the biggest problem that guys make, is that they just like, the looks are enough, and then the conversation is like, how do I get her to like me? So you're already going in there with a handicap. You know, like when a salesman comes in, like he's already coming in from a handicap, versus like when somebody goes into the store because they need milk, they just go to the aisle, they find the milk and they buy it. Versus if you show up at the door and you try and sell them milk, they'd be like, oh, well, who is this guy? Is the milk old? Can I trust this? You know what I mean? Like the difference, like when you want something, it's just like, how do I get it? It's not, you know, the same conversation. And so that would be the biggest thing. And I figured that out because I had a big sample size of girls that wanted to f me that I screwed it up with, and a big sample size of girls that wanted to f me that I also had sex with. And I think that's like, look, in a experiment, you have to have the control group, right? Most guys do not have the control group. Like I literally had girls sending me butt naked photos on Instagram. I want to f you. And I screwed it up with those girls. So I'm just saying, like, only in like cross comparing what worked and what didn't work with 2 sample sizes of girls that both wanted to sleep with me could I figure it out.
Given that you're the same guy to...
I would love to know what this man managed to do to mess it up with women who are sending him naked photos, explicitly telling him what they wanted to do with his body. How did he mess that up? I would love to know.
To both of them.
Exactly. Because, like, you know, there's girls that just, like, wouldn't want to sleep with me because I'm Armenian or I have a shitty haircut or whatever, right? Like, there's going to be girls that just, like, wouldn't fuck me, period. So because I had that sample that I knew that they wanted to sleep with me and I screwed it up, I was able to, like, figure out the things that I was doing wrong. And, like, one of the big things that I was doing wrong was, like, I was over communicating interest. I would have problems with the girls that I was like, oh, damn, like, this girl's hot, you know, she's different, or, like, you know, or I really like her or whatever. And my approach would change. And because my approach would change, my results would change.
What about, you know, the sort of treat them mean to keep them keen / not signaling sufficient interest that that person, that girl doesn't actually end up responding to you at all? I think, well, he's not interested, so this doesn't go anywhere.
So I wouldn't say treat them mean. I would say change your default setting from nice to challenging. You know, because like a lot of these guys, like, they aren't really nice guys. Like, oh, like, you know, I just want to be it's like, you're not that nice to the fat chick. You're not that nice to the janitor. You're nice to this girl because you want to her, you know? So like this whole idea of like, oh, I'm just being myself, or like, that's another one. It's like, I just want to be myself. Like, I want her to like me for me. And it's like, okay, well, there's different versions of you. There's a version of you in an Armani suit. There's a version of you dressed like shit. You know, there's a version of you where you like take care of your diet and work out and, like, you know, work at your...
Yes. Okay, this is very true. So you can't over communicate interest. And as hard as it is, if you're with a woman who you're really attracted to, that's the woman that you absolutely positively have to act like she's just any other girl. The more you kind of elevate her status, the more you actually diminish your own status as well. It can be very tough to remember, but it's something to actually remember. And like you said, change your default from... I forget what he said, like being a kiss ass to challenging. There needs to be a challenge. You know why there needs to be a challenge? A huge part of it is because, number one, women like to date up, right? They like to date up. And when you are challenging, it implies that you are above her because you're not giving it to her easy. Number two, most men are freaking easy. Most men are kind of rolling out the red carpet. Average woman knows, even an average woman, she just knows that she can hop onto a dating site, and she can create a profile, she will get tons of matches, and she knows that really and truly, if she wanted to, she could have sex that night. She could just like start responding to these men and say, hey, let's have sex. And like, it's going to happen. Like, she knows. And that's an average woman. Imagine like actually attractive women, the kind of reality that they live in. I remember there was a woman I was seeing who was a PT. Absolutely sexy as all hell. She told me that when she joined Tinder, she had like about 300 likes on her profile in like a day. 300 in like a day or two. As in 300 men right swiped her profile in about 1 day or two. That is literally insane. How long would it take you to get 300 right swipes on Tinder? She got that in like 2 days. That's the kind of reality a lot of women live in, and it makes them feel like men are a disposable commodity, which is why you kind of need to position yourself as being anything but. Anyway, though, that is it for this reaction video. If you like the cut of my jib, if you like the things that I say, please do like and comment and subscribe. Means a lot to me, helps the channel to grow. I've got a school which will teach you what you need to know about dating and attraction and things like this. There is a link in the description. And also, my good friend, yours truly has a book which is coming out at the end of this year. This book is called N-Word, and it is about an 85-year-old white woman who dies and is immediately reborn in the body of a 23-year-old black OnlyFans and Instagram model. She goes on a sadistic journey of carnal eroticism, violence, drug use, and alcohol abuse while she's trying to make up for what she did not experience in her first life, but also suffering with the ramifications of so many years, so many decades of pain, misery, and remorse. That book is coming soon. Bye-bye. Take care.